All right, everybody, we are just getting started. We are live right now, going to be talking about autism. If you're an autism parent, this is the right place for you. If you think you have autism, this is the right place for you. If if you're interested in learning about autism, this is the right place for you. Now, it takes a few minutes to get this live going fully, but we do end up getting a lot of people in here. And so if you want to get your questions in while there's just a few people, now's the time to start putting it in so I can see your questions. So go ahead and be putting questions in the chat. We love to answer everything. Hey, good morning, Melissa. Happy Friday to you as well. What a wonderful day it is, you guys. It is Friday. It is Friday morning. And I got asked this morning what my weekend plans were. And I couldn't think of anything I had scheduled, which means, you know what I might do this weekend? I might catch up on sleep. We'll see if I'm able to do that. All right, here. I'm just getting some other things set up. Please bear with me for just a minute while I finish setting some things up. Okay. And here we are. All right, we are all good to go, you guys. Good morning, Malvi. Good morning, everybody. We are talking about autism. If you guys could tap on that screen, it lets TikTok know to send it out to more people. And, you know, these first few minutes of the live are most important in ensuring that it sends it out to more people. So, all right, you guys, some big news coming out of the news just the other day is we know that the current administration has been pushing some misinformation about autism, and they formed a committee, the advisory committee, that had some people in there with some agenda about vaccines and autism. The CDC, we know, has caused some issues with RFK Jr.'s influence there. And again, I don't get very political here. My political stuff I talk about only stems around autism and disability advocacy. So some news, though, is that there's a new committee that has been formed to try to protect against the Federal Advisory Committee. This is a group of autism researchers and advocates that previously were involved with the previous federal body. And so they have formed a committee called the Interagency Autism Coordinating Committee, full of researchers that's going to be pushing back against the federal agency discussing some misinformation around autism. Kind of some exciting things. I'll cover that a little bit more later on, but we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. Hello. Smudge, good to see you. RLT, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Ghosting says my 3-year-old is nonverbal and has autistic traits. I'm guessing traits. Ghosting, do they have an official diagnosis yet? Do you have an official diagnosis? Hey, Jedi, good to see you. No. Okay. So if your child is 3 years old, now is the time to be getting a diagnosis. If you think that your child has autism. Now, what are some of the common signs of autism? You guys, if you know a child with autism, if you have a child with autism, what were the first signs you saw with your child? What signs did you first see with your child that they might have autism? Let's help ghosting out, and let's talk through some of these autism symptoms that we might see, some signs of autism. Let me tell you some of the first things I saw with my children. Not responding to their name. It's a big one. Most kids respond to their name very early on. Another one is pointing. Most kids look where you point or start pointing themselves around 9 months. And, you know, if you have a 2-year-old or a 1.5-year-old and they're not looking where you point or they're not pointing at things, that can indicate that your child has autism. Waitlist is 4 years. Where do you live, Ghosting? Where do you live? Good morning, Lexi. Good to see you. Good to see you. I know yesterday was kind of an off day. Yesterday I went live in the afternoon. I didn't do an evening live, but just know I'm generally pretty consistent. I went live at 10 a.m. Utah time. I live in Utah. But usually, yeah, I go for about 2 hours at about this time of the day every day. And then on some lucky days, you get to see a different side of me coming in the evening to do some more advocacy around autism. So Ghosting, yes, he was doing the same. Yes. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. If you are on a wait list for a diagnosis and the wait list is more than 6 months, you need to be calling everywhere you can to get on a different wait list. You can be on more than one wait list, And what I would say is this is important enough to get in early within a few months that you call everywhere within a 5-hour radius of where you live. You do not settle for a 3-year wait list. You do not just sit there and wait. You call everybody. When I was told that my kid had a 1-year wait list to get diagnosed, I said that's not acceptable. And I started my own company, hired my own psychologist, and got my own son diagnosed and gave that company away to that psychologist before I was able to get off a wait list. You move mountains for your child because that diagnosis early on gets you access to services that will determine your child's future. Ghosting says, so who do I need to speak to? So what you need to do is go onto Google, search your area, and say autism evaluation near me. And you go and you find as many. You don't have to have a referral from a pediatrician most of the time. You can just go and call the psychologist directly. You call everyone who can diagnose autism. You can also just look for psychologists. So psychologists are usually the ones doing the diagnosing. And they accept insurance, Ghosting. They do accept insurance. It doesn't have to be private pay. Okay. All right, let's see. I didn't see where Ghosting lived though, so maybe if it's not the United States, it might be Birmingham. Oh. Okay. Yeah, guys, the UK does have a wait list. It's a little bit different over there. It's a little bit different, and from what I heard, there's some places that don't even have the wait list, that they're not even putting the kids on the wait list. I wish I had better advice for you. That's unacceptable. I mean, what a shame that you have a child that's 3 years old, not yet speaking, and not getting this diagnosis withholds essential services that your child needs. And so, man, that is doing real harm to not be able to get that diagnosis. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. Franny says, is hand flapping a sign of autism? Okay, one of the criteria of being diagnosed with autism is what they call repetitive behaviors. Okay, repetitive behaviors or stereotypy. A lot of that is what we call stimming. That can include hand flapping. And so most kids with autism have some sort of repetitive behavior that is sensory in nature. That could be rocking back and forth. It could be flapping the hands. It could be spinning. Things like that. Okay. You guys, let me tell you what we're doing. Okay. So if you're wondering who I am, what I'm doing here, let me give you a little bit of a breakdown. While I do that, if you guys could do something for me, if you could be tapping that screen and get us past the 5,000 like mark, that'll make sure that TikTok keeps sending it out to more people. But let me introduce myself a little bit. My name is Kylan. I live in Utah, and I am a board-certified behavior analyst, but more importantly, I'm a father. I have 4 kids, 2 of which, my youngest 2, are diagnosed with autism. And I will do anything for my children. And what I've noticed since I've been a parent of a child with autism is that first of all, there's a lot of misinformation. And then second, there's a lot of pressure for us autism parents to be perfect and do everything. The purpose of me coming on here is to, 1, stop with the misinformation and spread what I know about autism with the evidence. And then also to make sure that we have a village for each other. Not enough people have a village, and the world demands too much of us. We need a village, and we need to have a good sense of what we're doing. Okay. Also, I am the CEO of a company in Utah. We provide services to people with autism throughout the state of Utah. And so if you live in Utah, you're always welcome to DM me, and I can always connect you. I have a lot of connections in Utah. If you need a diagnosis, I can get you in within a month. Just DM me. I can make that happen. If you live in Utah, I can get you into ABA right away. I also have connections to speech and OT and mental health therapists. So reach out to me if you live in Utah. Melissa, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for creating this village. It's helped me so much on this journey. You guys, the autism parent journey is a lot. I'm curious. Okay, we'll keep answering some questions here. And by the way, if I don't get to your question, just know I'm trying to get to as many as I can. If you want priority for your question to be answered, you can hop on over to our live YouTube stream. And if you put the question there, the link is in my bio. If you put the question there, I guarantee, I promise, I will read whatever you put over on YouTube today. We don't have very many followers over there, and so I'm able to answer anything that comes up over there. Just make sure you subscribe over there. Okay, let's keep asking over here on TikTok. Ashley says, I love seeing this on my TikTok. The world needs more of this for awareness. Thank you, Ashley. That's what we're here for. Is sensory issues a sign of autism? My 2-year-old is getting therapy and they notice it a lot. Absolutely. Sensory issues 100% is a problem or a common concern with kids with autism. These sensory issues are very real. Let me break it down for you. A child with autism, they are experiencing the world very differently than many of you and myself. The way that they're experiencing the world is with they're hearing and feeling everything all at once. Let me explain what I mean by that. When a baby is born, if you've been here before, you've heard me explain this. I enjoy talking about this. It's called pruning. When a baby is born, every little sensory input lights up their brain. It forms a synaptic connection in the brain. And the brain very quickly learns that some of these connections in the brain aren't very important. For example, right now, do you feel the socks that are on your feet? If you're not paying attention to that, that is because your brain has pruned out that connection. And babies, they will prune out the non-relevant things, so that, when you're talking to a child, they're focusing on you talking to them. They're not focused on the lights that are going on. They're not focused on the ceiling fan. They're not focused on the clothes. Now, many kids with autism prune differently. And so their brain's experiencing all the noises, all the sensory inputs all at once. That can be one reason why they don't respond to their name, because you saying their name is just as salient as the light above their head, as a ceiling fan sound that they're hearing, as the clothes that they feel on their back. And so if you can relate to this, I know a lot of adults with autism feel the same way, that they feel everything going on at once. Okay, Destiny. Hi, Destiny. Good to see you. You have 2 with autism and 2 without. Do you feel like it makes a difference in your speech being around other children who are verbal, or do you find that their older siblings talk for them? Oh my goodness, it helps so much. It helps so much because, look, if you have a kid and they're trying to learn to communicate, the best thing is to be talking all the time. And something that a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old is really good at is talking all the time. And so my 7 and 10-year-old, they're amazing. They both say they want to be RBTs when they grow up. They go and say that they pretend to be their brother's RBT and go and play with them. And absolutely, it's been beneficial to have that. Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and keep looking. Any advice for a 2-year-old who will only eat 2 purees, drools a lot, lacks chewing? And I can't read the rest of that because it's cut off. Okay, feeding challenges are very real with kids with autism. This is why I'm not a fan of people trying to implement such strict diets with their kids with autism, because most often they only have a few safe food items to begin with. That's not all kids with autism, but many kids with autism aren't able to eat anything. And so, yeah, I would just say give yourself some grace. Make sure you're consulting with your doctor about it, and make sure you have a good doctor. And I just noticed that we are at 9,000 likes, you guys. Let's see if we can't get that up to 15,000. We have 100 people in here. I think we should be able to do that. Rahan, I do have a YouTube channel. It is linked in my bio if you want to go over there and ask a question. That is where I prioritize. Any question that comes through there, I will answer today. What is the best vitamin for kids for autism? My son is going to be 7 soon. There is not a specific vitamin or supplement that you need to give your child simply because they have autism. There is no standard supplement or medicine or diet that you need to give your child simply because they're diagnosed with autism. Their bodies are just like anyone else's. Their brain developed differently in utero, and it's not something that needs to be cured or fixed. It's something that needs to be supported. And so some people find that, their kid has a really strict diet and their pediatrician is concerned about the number of nutrients. So they get on some sort of they find a way to get multivitamin and things like that. There are some options there. But it's not by default that you got to look at any of those. And you don't need to do, you don't need to worry too much about any of that. Just work with your doctor. A lot of this fringe science and the naturalistic approaches are just trying to sell you stuff that's really expensive. Chloe says, learned what the third eye hug is. I'm obsessed and crying at the same time. You guys, have you guys heard about this? Have you heard about this? I have a son with autism, and I posted a video about this, that my son with autism comes up to me and goes head to head, and we rub heads together. And he comes up probably 5 times a day to do that. First thing in the morning, we get up. He knows we got to change his diaper, and he gets up, and I sit down, and he goes and he puts his head up to mine. And a lot of kids with autism do this. Not all, of course, not all. But my son, he doesn't want to give me hugs. He doesn't want to give me kisses. He's not affectionate usually. He just barely started being willing to sit on my lap for a period of time. But for a long time, that third eye hug is what we call it, when they touch the foreheads, and it's a beautiful thing. I absolutely love that. Do your kids do this? Put third eye hug in the chat if your child does this. Third eye hug, or put yes. Put yes in the chat, or put third eye hug. Tell me if your child with autism does this, and it's okay if they don't. It's okay if they don't, but it is an interesting thing. It's something we in the autism community haven't talked much about, but it's something that is fairly common. It's common, just like lining up toys. Not every kid with autism lines up toys, but many do. And it's just kind of fun to share in some of these commonalities that our kids have. Okay. Any opinion on stem cell therapy for autism? Melody, good question. Good question. Stem cell therapy has some solid theory behind it. It is still considered an emerging science. Those who recommend it are recommending kind of a fringe science. It is not. The evidence behind it has been inconsistent in the data, and it is extremely expensive. There's a reason insurance doesn't cover it. If it was effective at treating autism, insurance would absolutely prefer to pay for stem cell therapy than these expensive like ABA and OT and things like that. But the fact is, it just hasn't been shown to be effective. And so that's a big sign. That's something you should ask yourself. You guys should know this, that full-time ABA therapy, and insurance might be paying $100,000 a year for your child to have ABA therapy. And if there was a simple solution to address autism, a cure, if vaccines caused it, if there was a simple answer that big pharma were hiding, insurance would be all over finding that, so they wouldn't have to pay out. It's so expensive. So stem cell therapy, save your money. If you have an extra $15,000 to spend that you were thinking of doing stem cell therapy, instead of going and doing that, maybe go and and build a sensory room in your garage, or go build a trampoline and ground in your backyard, or upgrade to a bigger house to have them be in a little bit more room and have their own space. And so I think there's more environmental things that you can do that's going to be a lot better to support your child than stem cell therapy at this point. Okay. At what age or months can autism be seen in a baby? Guys, how old was your child? If you have a child with autism, how old were they when you first saw signs of autism? How old were they? Let me tell you, for my son, it was well before 1 year that I started seeing the signs, probably 9 months, maybe a little earlier. But he wasn't responding to his name. He wasn't communicating very well. He was very fixated on lights and his hand. And he just, there was a lot of signs, but obviously we can't say that it's autism. A lot of kids, look, one trait of autism or multiple traits of autism, it doesn't mean that they're diagnosed with autism. It doesn't mean that they for sure have autism. What it does mean is that, it's something that should be considered. And so absolutely, like, look for those. If your kid's over the age of 12 months, preferably closer to 18 months is usually when most places will diagnose. If you're seeing a lot of these signs, go and pursue a diagnosis. Go pursue an evaluation, I should say. Rian says, my son was referred to psychologist, then for ASD eval. His OT will only help with picky eating, but not sensory issues. But you mentioned about having someone in his corner. My son's 7 and communicates. Rahan, occupational therapists are supposed to specialize in meeting the sensory needs. Now, it sounds like your OT, they have a unique specialization of feeding therapy. And I got to tell you that working on feeding is so important, and we don't have enough people in the world trained to support kids with that. And so you may need another OT, or if you start looking into ABA, they can help with some sensory things too. But OT really does excel with helping support sensory needs. Someone said in here, why are you guys asking me these questions? Let me tell you a little bit about my background. I am not a medical doctor. I am a board-certified behavior analyst. And so I work with kids with autism. I've worked with kids with autism for over a decade. I'm also the father of 2 kids with autism that I love so much. And currently, I'm the CEO of a company that provides services to people with autism in the state of Utah called Nova Supports. You guys can check us out online. We do a good job. But really, I'm here as an autism parent. I'm here because we need more advocacy in the space. We need to get rid of all the nonsense of the garbage of, fake things to do to cure your child with autism. Autism doesn't need to be cured. You cannot reverse autism. We support kids with autism. And so I go live every day for a couple hours. So if you're in here and it says follow right there, that means you're not following me yet. I'm going to ask you to hit that button there. It'll let you stay on this page, but it makes it so that you can see me next time I go live, and you can hop on and be part of this conversation. All right. Nice. You have so much help in America. We don't have a lot here in South Africa. Charmaine, I know. I've been hearing this. I really wish that these supports were available everywhere, because it really is going to help in the long term. Look, what the United States is doing by having ABA therapy funded, insurance mandated funding for ABA therapy, we're the best country in the world for autism services because of the abundance of ABA therapy. Now, I don't talk politics very much, and I do. I have a lot to criticize about, especially the current administration's views around autism, specifically about vaccines and autism in general. But I have to admit that, having all of these therapies available is extremely helpful in supporting autism. Okay. Let's keep looking at questions, you guys. SD says, it's like every house in America has one. Has one what? Did I miss a different part of that? Okay, we have another comment that just came in on YouTube. Again, I am prioritizing the YouTube questions. If you have questions, sometimes I miss them on TikTok, but I am reading every question. If you go over, you subscribe on YouTube, I will answer every question that comes through on there today. Rahan says, my son feels very normal sometimes, but does have mild autism signs. If I have to pick main issue that he has, is him getting aggressive when he loses and showing tantrums. What would be your approach? So I don't know that would count as autism. The sensory issues that you mentioned before, absolutely is tied to autism. But as far as teaching kids to lose and not getting aggressive when they lose, that is a skill. It's a skill that you have to work on. And if you have a child with autism, that is being able to take turns, being able to lose. That is a skill that we set in ABA therapy as a goal that you can actually address. Okay, we have another question over on YouTube, you guys. Keep these questions coming. This is great. Let's see. Wife is a BCBA and starting independent practice. How can we serve parents better other than ABA? Like follow-up skills, soft skills, etc. Wow. Lifty McLift. Your wife is a BCBA and going out and doing independent practice. Thank you. We need good supports. And let me tell you what, I love ABA practices run by a BCBA. In ABA, there's a lot of private equity companies coming in and making huge companies that don't prioritize the clients and prioritize profit. And, I am confident your wife is going to be amazing. So what I would say is just focus on really high quality ABA. And make sure that you're giving ABA a good name. There's a lot of people that don't like ABA. And the reason for that is because ABA used to address a lot more of like making your kid look normal and act normal. And that's not what ABA should be. We shouldn't be addressing stimming and flapping your hands. Unless, the stimming is like hitting your head and it's hurting someone. Absolutely we have to address. But just don't be overly focused on compliance, overly focused on masking, and love the kids that you work with. And already thank you, Lifty McLift, for supporting your spouse in starting her own thing. She's gonna do a lot of good. We are getting ready to start ABA. Chastity, that's exciting. It's gonna be a great experience. What's ABA? So ABA is applied behavior analysis. Applied behavior analysis is, in the United States, probably the most highest funded support for people with autism. I recommend 4 frontline therapies to consider having your child with autism. The very first one is ABA therapy, applied behavior analysis. Your child can get up to 40 hours per week of therapy through ABA. There's no other service for autistic kids like that. Occupational therapy is also amazing, but they address sensory needs. They address things. They can also address things like feeding, and there is some overlap. But usually, you're looking at once, sometimes twice a week that you can meet with them. Speech therapy is another frontline therapy that I recommend, but again, it's only an hour a week that's typically funded. And then, if your child is fully conversational, then mental health therapy can start making sense if they're having anxiety or other concerns. Just make sure that you have someone that is an expert in autism. Okay, I'm wondering, you guys, of all the people in here, who here just barely found me? Who am I showing up to for the first time? Put FYP in the chat. If you're just seeing me for the first time, put FYP in the chat. I'm curious if people just barely found me. Wow, a lot of people. Okay. Great. Thank you for being here. Look, I consider myself to be the voice and protector of parents with autistic kids. Why? Because I'm not selling anything. If you look at my bio, I'm just here because I am extremely passionate and a loud advocate, and I am having a blast. I'm new to TikTok. I've been doing social media just for 2 months now, and I've loved every second of it. And I know how difficult it is and the grieving process that comes with getting a diagnosis that your child has a disability like autism. And I know after that diagnosis, you look for every possible answer, every possible solution to help your child. And I know that there are a lot of people out there willing to help, but also a lot of people willing to help because they're making a lot of money off of helping you. I talked to someone yesterday who went in to meet with a naturalistic doctor who did a test and found all these levels out of whack with their autistic child and tried to get them on a subscription to spend a few $100s a month on a bunch of supplements because their child has autism. Those supplements that they were recommended had no evidence behind them, and it was clear that they were just being kind of taken advantage of. That's the kind of thing I want to protect you of. Us autism parents, we don't have enough time in the day. We don't have enough money in the bank account. We don't have enough resources to give. So what I talk to autism parents about is focusing on the most impactful things that you can do for your child while you take care of yourself. That is the number one thing I want you to take away from my live streams, is that if you are an autism parent, before you even start thinking about therapies, before you start thinking about all the things you can do to support your child with autism, I need you first to take a deep breath and to take care of yourself. I need you to not be burned out. I need you to be able to go spend a night away from your family, from your kids for one night. I need you to have a village of people to support you. And any effort that goes towards taking care of yourself like that will pay out exponentially in your child being able to have a regulated parent supporting them. That's what this live is all about. Get rid of the garbage that we don't need to be telling people about autism, and stick to the things that are practical that actually help us autism parents. Okay, we have another question over here. I have been referred to all therapies except mental health therapists. Who would get referred or fined? Rahan, again, you also don't have to feel like you have to do everything. Okay, if you don't have enough time in the day, don't you prioritize the therapies you think is going to help your child the most. But for a mental health therapist, I'm currently working on a connection to be able to refer people to. But for now, you can just research, just Google mental health therapist near me, and then look around until in the bios of the therapist, they'll say what they specialize in. And it's going to take maybe 30 minutes of your time to be looking through all the different profiles and find one that specializes in autism, if you feel like that'd be helpful. All right, you guys. Let's look at some more questions. I found a therapist that specializes in parenting and neurodivergence. It's been amazing. Yeah, that's so great. Let's see here. Just looking to see which questions would be best. Okay. Gadudi is asking about frat testing. So frat testing, okay. Guys, let me break some of this down for you. Currently, there is some info about leucovorin. Leucovorin is a promising medication that I'm cautiously optimistic. I have not chosen to look into it further for my child yet because of the mixed evidence around it so far. There have been 5 randomized clinical trials, the largest of which prompted the current administration in the United States to push some more advocacy towards leucovorin. And that major study was recently retracted due to errors in the data. Now, the other 4 randomized clinical trials had mixed results, but somewhat positive. This is not something leucovorin didn't drastically change people, but it had some slight improvements in addressing communication in a subset of kids with autism. Now, It's only 4 randomized clinical trials. I used this example the other day that we have to be super careful when there's not a large sample size. Things haven't been replicated yet. It's like I used this example yesterday on a TikTok that some of these studies, if there's only a few people that they're studying, it's like flipping a coin twice and you get heads twice, and then your takeaway from that is that coin doesn't have tails. Like you can't. We're not quite there yet with leucovorin. I'm optimistic. I'm excited. The subset of group though, you were asking about FRAT testing, being able to test for the folinic acid deficiencies has been, I think, the subgroup of kids with autism who benefited the most from leucovorin in the minimal trials that there are. Just know at this point, do not stress it. This is not something you need to be worrying about. The impacts were very small over a long amount of time, and we still don't understand the dosing of leucovorin. There's side effects that can happen. People get hyperactive, anxiety can increase, problem behaviors can increase, communication can also increase. And so it's not ready yet to start. And I'm not mad at parents that do. This is one of those that it's not totally snake oil, but I will say that that example I gave, there was a parent who wanted to try leucovorin, went to a doctor who would prescribe it. It was like a naturalistic doctor to try to get more information about leucovorin. And instead of giving information about leucovorin, they gave them all these supplements, all these crazy supplements that are not shown to address autism, that were way overpriced. And just be aware, as you're trying to find little things like this, every little thing to improve with your child, it leads to you burning out. It's too much. You don't need to focus on that yet. Okay, what other questions do we have? Let's keep on talking. Leucovorin is also a medication, though. Let's remember that it has really helped people in the ICU. And for autism, treating autism, it's still something that's being researched. Let's see. Kia says it's all about finding replacements. If they like putting things in their mouth, find something for it. You're probably talking to, let's see, Kia. Oh, Kia, I bought a doorbell so my daughter can ring the bell when she has to potty. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. My kiddo doesn't take any medication. For autism, is it necessary to take meds? No, Pinky Patel. No. There are no medications that are prescribed simply because of an autism diagnosis. Now, there are common symptoms of autism. A lot of people thought autism have an increased level of anxiety. And many people with autism end up at some point in their life being on medications for that. There are medications. My son uses melatonin to help sleep, as we've consulted with his doctor. What are your thoughts on dairy and gluten-free diet? Here's the thing is, I don't know why people focus on that for autistic kids and not non-autistic kids. There is no difference. There is not a diet that's specific for kids with autism. None of these diets have been shown to address autism. Now, if your child has gut issues, okay, I take issue with the diets that are supposed to help the gut simply because of the gut-brain axis theory behind autism. This theory suggests that your kid has autism because of the way that the gut and the brain are connected, and that your kid has issues with the gut. You fix the issues with the gut, it helps to fix autism or addresses concerns with autism. That's just not how it works in the practical sense. In the studies, these types of diets have not been shown to address autism symptoms. However, if your child has gut problems, if your kid's constipated and they have autism, their autism symptoms are going to be worsened because their tummy hurts, because they're constipated. Okay, so I'm not saying never address gut issues, but the gluten-free diet, like if your kid has celiac disease, absolutely gluten-free diet. You're going to have to figure out how to make that happen. But it's not, just because your kid has autism, that diet is recommended. Okay. Yes, Bat, thank you for that reminder. The very first step I talk about along the autism journey is you need a village. You can't do this alone. If you are a single parent, if you don't have someone, let me ask you this. Let's say your child, let's say you have 2 kids and you got to take one of your kids in the middle of the night to the ER. Would you have someone that you could call to come and be with your autistic child? Do you have a village? Do you have a village in case of emergencies? If you had to leave, do you have someone that could come? And that is something that you got to be thinking about. We need a village, and yes, we can be your village. You guys are my village, but we don't live next to you. And so part of this village thing is getting people around you to be part of your village. And it is hard. Destiny says our building one is exhausting. It is so exhausting. Look, what I don't want. Look, a lot of you say I don't have a village, and I understand that you don't have one right now. And it sounds, the idea of going and spending a night away from your autistic child sounds impossible. I've talked to people that for the past 15 years, they've never spent an hour away from their autistic child. And so simply not having one is all the more reason to put effort into building one. Treat it as important as the therapies for your child, because you need to take care of yourself. So what are some ways to build a village? Let me tell you. For me, what we've done to build a village, we've been fortunate that we do have some natural supports of family that live, within an hour from our house. But on top of that, I have got really close with my neighbors, with my community. And there's about 15 people that I could call to come over that I would trust to be with my kids. And I've developed that trust through, inviting people over for dinners, going and bringing people cookies for Christmas, going and, having play dates with the kids. And so it's little by little. Like one small thing that you can do is go and look, and I'm sure you've seen a neighbor that has a kid, your kid's same age. And I want you to just go over to their house, knock on the door, and invite them over for a play date. You can explain the situation, say my child has autism, but socializing is good for him. Would you be open to a play date? We want to get to know you guys. Just go get to know some people. And it's really hard, but the effort that you put in will pay out and will make it so that you have a community of people to support you. You're shy, Carrie. Yes, I know. I'm shy too. Yeah, I know we're shy. But we need to look everywhere to be able to find that village. And that's the first step of this autism journey. Once you have that, everything else becomes easier. But let this, for all of you that are shy, that don't want to go meet your neighbor today, let us at least be part of your emotional village. Let us be a listening ear. Let us cry together. Let us laugh together. Guys, it is a lot to be an autism parent. I'm very open about my own personal struggles. Yesterday, I didn't go live at 10 a.m. And part of that was I had Brooklyn, Mr. Extrovert. Are you talking about me? That's my wife, you guys. She's calling me Mr. Extrovert. I'm not Mr. Extrovert. But yesterday, everything kind of came down on me at the same time. I've said this before, that sometimes it feels like I am carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders and my back is about to break. And that kind of got really intense yesterday for a moment, that I had to take a minute to myself. Have you guys ever felt that you feel like the weight of the weight of the world is on your shoulders, but your back is about to break? What do you think? All the time, Kels. Noble path, I can relate. Always. Okay. My wife says I'm not shy. Okay, I'm a little bit shy. Shay says, what are your thoughts on vaccines and autism? There are studies showing that vaccines increase risk. Shay, vaccines do not increase the risk of autism. There is one study, and let me break it down for you. This study that keeps going around that people tend to use to say that vaccines cause autism came out about 15, 20 years ago. I think it was 2002 or something. I'll have to look at the exact date. They did an analysis. They didn't collect the data, but they looked at data that was already existing for 80,000 kids. Of those 80,000, they found 33, I believe, who were diagnosed with autism at the time. 33. And out of those 33 kids, 9 of them had the Hep B vaccine. And so what they were saying was that that's more than normal. Oh, and it was only boys. When you looked at boys and girls, they didn't see it. The number was too large that that correlation disappeared. And so now everyone's taking that study from 20 plus years ago and saying, look, 9 out of 31 kids had the Hep B vaccination as an infant. That is a very clear that vaccines cause autism. And although there is a correlation there, the sample size is so small that, again, it's like flipping a coin twice, and it shows heads both times. Now, if you flip a coin twice and it says heads both times, it might make sense to flip over the coin and see if there's tails on that other side. But you don't need to publish a paper saying that this coin no longer has tails on it. You haven't flipped the coin enough to know. And so since then, there have been dozens of studies. We have studied literally millions of children across vaccination schedules. And when you expand with an actual large, if you flip the coin 100 times, you start seeing tails, is what I'm trying to say. Vaccines don't cause autism. There's another study, not study, but someone posted on my page a compilation of like 250 studies that prove vaccines cause autism. And of that entire thing, there's only one study in there that actually shows that, and it's the one I just talked about. And many of the others don't even talk about autism, and many of the others also demonstrate the opposite. And so feel free to send me. If you have an article that convincingly says that there's a correlation, I want to see it, because it doesn't exist. Guys, I was thinking about something with this vaccination thing. People are so worried about vaccines and their side effects. First of all, there is no evidence that vaccines cause autism. But what's interesting is the same people that refuse vaccines because they're worried about the risk factor are the first ones in line to circumcise their child. Now, I'm not saying circumcision is wrong. That's a different topic, different argument. But the data is very clear that 1 in 10,000 circumcisions results in a serious complication, and 1 in 1,000,000 vaccinations results in a serious complication. And so it's just so silly to me, like how people pick and choose which data to look at, and it's almost like you have this already idea in your head of what's important and what is true, and you're kind of cherry picking what data to look at. All right, you guys, let's keep on talking here. Do you think that individuals with autism should receive compensation from taxpayers' money? Jackson, what kind of compensation? I do think people with disabilities who are not able to work should have their needs met for them. Is that what you're wondering, Jackson? Absolutely. I think 99% of the population believes that is one of the best use of taxpayer money goes to supporting people with disabilities to make sure they can survive. Let's see. Kids are statistically more sick in kids that are vaccinated versus non-vaccinated. Clinically proven. Shay, I don't know what study you're referencing. I am not talking all about vaccinations, but those side effects are very real of some issues. Shay, are you just as passionately against circumcision, which is far more dangerous than vaccinating a child? All right, let's keep chatting. I'm not the most knowledgeable with disabilities, but can't people with autism function normally? Okay, so it depends on the person with autism. Some people, if your autism does not impede your ability to work, like you don't need compensation simply for having autism. It's about you receive disability funding and Social Security disability pay if your disability makes it so that you are unable to work. And I can't think of a better use of taxpayer money. Okay. And again, there's a lot of questions coming through. If you want to guarantee that I will address your questions, hop on over to the YouTube where you are able to hit subscribe on YouTube and comment a question in the live stream over there. And I will read every single question that comes through on YouTube today. Even if it's just a statement. If you think I am wrong about something or you have a strong opinion, whatever you type out over there and send, I'm going to read out loud for everyone to read, for everyone to hear. Okay. You talk a lot about building a village, but some of us try with no success. How do we thrive without? T-Dub, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if you don't have a village and if you have tried everything that you can to build one. Please don't give up. Please don't say that that having a village is not in your cards. You haven't been able to have one yet, but please don't give up on that hope and on that mission of being able to build a village. Look for a small win, okay? What I want you to do, one of the best small wins that you can do is join today. You can do this. Go onto Facebook, search the city that you live in, plus autism support. And you can join your local community's support groups online where they have occasional meetups. An example of this, something that I am doing, okay? Because I do things like this all the time, but I rented out a movie theater room, okay, for Monday. This is if you live in Utah, let me know. I'll get you the link for this. But I rented out an entire theater, 250 seats. We're going to be showing Monsters, Inc. And it is an autism-friendly showing of Monsters, Inc., meaning the lights are going to be up a little bit. My wife has coordinated this whole thing. This is something she is so passionate about. I am so proud to be a part of. And we have just put the word out to everybody and said, if you live in Utah, you have a kid with autism or an adult with autism, and they can't go to the movies usually, now's the time. Come, bring your iPad. Feel free to walk around in the aisles. Feel free to make noise. No judgment. Judgment-free zone. Come to the movies and have a good time. Like that is the kind of thing. Look for opportunities like that. You go to that, you can make a village. You can find people that live in your neighborhood. Let's see. 1988 Beast. How many shots did you get? Well, today I only got one. I did get a shot today. But I don't have autism, if that's what you're wondering. I just talk about autism. All right, you guys. Something I haven't shared enough about is also join our village, okay? Not just by following me, that is, of course, something to do, but also go to in my bio, we have a Discord and we have a Facebook group where we chat. This is a meaningful space that we are each other's village. Okay, transitions. I'm struggling with my little guy. Transitions are hard with kids with autism. My recommendations with transitions, and every kid's different. Talk to your care team for sure. But you can help. You can help with the transition. Something that I do is I let, it depends on where your kid's at. But if the kid can communicate, I give them control over the transition. So maybe instead of saying, okay, turn the TV off right now, you say, okay, it's going to be time to eat dinner. Do you want to turn off the TV right now, or do you want to turn it off in 5 minutes when we're all the way ready to eat? And you give them control. It takes a little bit more planning, but if you give them control over the transition, sometimes that can help. All right, you guys, we are going to invite some people up here. If you want to come up and if you have a question about autism, you can come up and ask it in person on here. By the way, we have 28,000 likes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And let's get a feel for who all is here. If you have a child with autism, put 1 in the chat. Let's get it going in the chat. If you have a child with autism, put 1 in the chat. If you have autism, put 2 in the chat. If you're here to just learn about autism or you're a professional, put 3 in the chat. Let's see who we got here. How does this look? I see some of all of them, 1, 2, and 3. A lot of 1s, lots of 3s. Guys, those of you who said 3, you are welcome to be here. You are welcome to be here. We love having you here. It's important because those that say 3, what you don't realize is that family that you know in your life that has a child with autism, they need you. They need your help. They need your support, and they're not going to ask you. They're not going to ask you for help, but they need it. And so I hope, as you're learning about autism, I hope one takeaway that you have, if you put 3, is that you can learn to be part of a village for those that said 1. All right, let's go ahead and let me change the settings so we can get a guest up here. All right, you guys, if you have a question, if you want to come up and ask, feel free to come up and request. We are bringing people up to have quick conversations. So go ahead and request up if you'd like. And let's go ahead and request. And if you don't see the request button, you might have to hit follow first. Hi, Gabby. How's it going?
It's going great. I don't have a question, but I've been listening to your live today, and I think we connected just a couple of days ago, and I just want to commend you on what you're doing.
Thank you.
Just because the simple fact it took me a year to find a ABA therapist for my grandson, and because they were non I'm here in Florida, and they were not very common, not even clinics to go to.
Yeah.
So, the children were suffering because they don't have the therapy that they need. And I realized how much the speech therapy and the ABA therapy is needed, and because the children can make tremendous progress.
Yeah.
And then I heard some of the things that you were saying earlier, as far as what you can do, like to redirect them.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that because you're giving them control
Yeah.
instead of telling them or asking them, just because a lot of times my grandson won't do it. If you say, "Can you turn off the TV?" He will, like, "Why?" But if you say, "We're getting ready to eat dinner, can you turn off the TV, or do you need 5 minutes?" And then he'll say 5 minutes, and
Yep.
he will turn it off after that. So 5 minutes is up.
Puts the control in their hands. And we see a lot of kids that have PDA. Have you heard of PDA before? Pathological demand avoidance.
Yes.
So for those in the chat who might not have heard of that, this is a very common strategy, especially with those of you or those children with a PDA profile, which is where they avoid just about any demand, and it's like asking them to go brush their teeth is just as painful on their body and their nervous system as asking them to go touch a hot stove. And a lot of these of putting control, putting the autonomy back in the hands of the child is one of the best, ways to address it. But it's Gabby. Thank you so much for coming up. Any last thought before I move on?
Just keep up the great work.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. You have a good one. All right, you guys, if you have a question for me, if you want to ask something about autism, have a discussion about something, go ahead and request that. We're going to go ahead and get some questions going. Hello there. How are you?
Hi,
Where are you from? Where are you calling in from?
Nor Norway.
Norway. Okay. Do you have a question about autism for us? All right. Looks like you might be disconnected there. So sorry about that. Let's go ahead and oh shoot, I haven't been checking YouTube. Let me make sure. Okay. For those of you who do have a question and I haven't responded yet, and you don't want to come up, if you go over to YouTube, if you hit subscribe, I will guarantee that I will bring you up. Or not bring you up. I will read whatever you put over there on YouTube. Miriam, hello. I'll go ahead and bring you up. Where are you calling in from?
Hi, I'm from Chicago.
You're from Chicago, huh?
Yep.
Great. What question do you have today?
You just mentioned something, the initials for something where you tell kids to do something and they always refuse or say
Yeah.
something in rebuttal, like I know, don't tell me, things like that.
Yes. Yeah. Pathological demand avoidance. It's called PDA. Do you have a child with autism?
Yeah, he's probably on the spectrum. He was diagnosed with ADHD, and he hasn't received a formal diagnosis of autism,
How old is
but
he?
he's 16 now. He was diagnosed with ADHD 3 years ago when he started high
Wow.
school and started failing all his classes.
Okay. Yeah. And are you seeing some of the PDA stuff in him, maybe of really resisting
Yes.
anything that you ask him to do?
Anything. Like to this morning, we got an email from the school for tardiness. This is fifth tardiness this month.
Wow.
And I'll tell him, oh, we got to get better next week. And he's like, I know, don't tell me. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I get all the time.
Yeah. Look, your best bet here is, well, first of all, if you do suspect autism and you want to have that clarity, it wouldn't hurt to go get an evaluation for him. He's not too old to get an evaluation, but PDA, pathological demand avoidance, is pretty common within is a profile underneath autism, and it is where it's not a misbehavior. It's not someone being bad. It is not something necessarily learned. It is something that when you ask them to do, it causes so much pain for them that you might as well have asked them to go and touch a hot stove. And like it puts their body in fight or flight. And in those moments, like a lot of parents, their strategy is to push harder, to discipline harder, to, punish your kid unless they do what you say. And I mean the problem with that is it's not a compassionate way to address it, because it doesn't reduce the pain that making them do it causes. A lot of these kids, it's not cleaning their room that causes the resistance. It's someone asking them to do it that causes them the pain. And so setting up systems so that they have autonomy and decision over their own body as much as possible is the way to set them up for success. It is the let them know, hey, look, I need you helping out around the house, but I want you to pick how that's going to be. Here are the chores that we need done, and you can pick any one of these chores, and we can make a calendar for you, and you can make your own chore chart. And you let them set that up. They're in control, and then they have the list of what they need to do. So I don't know. That's my recommendation, Miriam.
Thank you. Definitely we will try, because I don't say anything anymore when he talks like that, because I know I had a feeling he was not doing it intentionally. It's just a reaction, his very first reaction. So I usually don't say anything. But as I keep asking for little things like it's time to go or get up and shower or things like that, I keep getting that same reaction continuously. So thank you for the idea. I will definitely try.
Of course. That's a great question. Best of luck to you and your son. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. All right. Let's go ahead and look at some more questions here. Every 20 minutes or so, I like to do a redo of an introduction about myself. Why am I on here and who am I? Who is this guy on your phone screen talking about this? Well, let me tell you. I got a couple kids with autism. 2 out of my 4 are diagnosed with autism, my youngest 2. And I'm an autism advocate. I am a board-certified behavior analyst. I do ABA therapy with kids. And currently I'm the CEO of a company that provides autism services throughout the state of Utah. And so I come on live every day just because I like it. Because you guys are an amazing village. I had a hard time yesterday. And I missed my live for the first time in a while. And at about 11 o'clock, I started getting messages from a lot of you checking in on me. Hey, are you okay? And I want y'all to know that that meant a lot to me. That, this village was looking out for me. And I just want y'all to know that I see you, I appreciate you, and thank you for being part of this village. If you are new here and you see on here that it says follow up at the top, if you tap that follow button, it lets you stay here in this discussion, but it does make sure that you see when I go live next time. All right, you guys, let's keep talking. Bobby's World said, you just made my husband giggle. Hey, that's good. What did I say? I want to know. Want to know what was funny. I am a funny guy. Let's see here. They recommend 40 hours of therapy per week. My child is 3 years old. I feel that is a lot. Okay. So, 40 hours of therapy is a lot. But let me tell you what that is. When you talk about 40 hours of therapy, it sounds like your child would be doing 40 hours of work. And that's just not the case. My kid can't get enough of his ABA therapy. The only therapy that pays for 40 hours a week is 40 hours a week up to that is ABA therapy. And the way that works is they're playing with your kid. It's one-on-one. They're playing with your kid and they incorporate learning into the play. And the reason it's that intensive is because it's been shown that when you get 30 to 40 hours per week of that kind of therapy, the progress is so strong that you can see. Like this is, it still takes time. I mean, you might need a year or 2 of this. It's not something that happens fast, but your kid's going to learn skills. They're going to learn to communicate. That doesn't mean you have to do 40. You can do less. But if your kid is enjoying it, it's not going to feel like it's a problem to do 40 hours. Okay. Yeah, Morgan said, yes, that's what ABA wanted from us too. We started preschool at the same time and couldn't do it. Yeah, there's going to be things like not everyone can do 40 hours a week, and that's okay. Just know, like, when you're doing 30 to 40 hours a week, you can address this many goals. Sorry, you can't see my hands. You can address this many goals. When you are doing 10 hours a week, you can address this many goals. And so the more hours of ABA therapy you do, if your child is enjoying it, the more skills and development you're going to see. All right, you guys, if you have a question, go ahead and be in the queue. We have a lot of people. Let me double check YouTube. Oh, we got some questions over on YouTube. Let me go ahead and read these. I did say any questions that come through on YouTube, I will read. Robin says, I have a kid with ASD in my class. He's from South Africa, 12 years old. We're in the Netherlands. He's in my class to learn Dutch. I can't seem to get him to read Dutch books. He gets very upset. He only wants to read a specific English book multiple times on repeat. Yes. Okay. Just know that that is normal. That is something that you are going to see with people with autism is doing things over and over. They like the consistency. They like the routine. My kid, he has like 100 books that he reads, but his reading has been his special interest. He can't read yet, but he thumbs through pages and books. And we've made videos of us reading to him. So his screen time right now is typically watching us family reading books to him that he goes and finds a book and he follows along. And he has learned every word of most of those books. There's probably 20 of those books that he just knows word for word and that he just wants to read over and over again. So I don't know how old or, what level of reading you're looking at. If it's little kids books, just make it fun. Maybe have other people reading to them. If it's other challenging books, I mean, I don't know that I have a good answer for you. We do also have another comment here on YouTube. Fabu says, I am just learning about autism, but there's so much to learn. I want to know what I can do to be a voice for my grandchild. I feel so helpless. Fabby. Let me slow things down here for a second. Fabby, you are part of your grandchild's village. And I don't know your situation. I don't know if you're a primary caregiver of your child, but assuming you're not the primary caregiver, I want you to know that you are a big part of your child's village. And the greatest thing that your child needs right now is they need a parent who is regulated and they need support. Yeah. The best thing that you can do isn't learning all the ins and outs of autism. You should learn. That's great. That's an amazing thing. But you should step in and watch your child or watch your grandchild so your kid can go overnight somewhere and have a break. Be part of that village, and that's going to be the best way that you can support. Also know that there's a lot to know about autism, but it's really very simple. It's really very simple. There's not a billion things that you have to do. It's very simple. The very first thing an autism parent needs to focus on is first building your village. The second is getting your diagnosis. That's the second step. Get an autism diagnosis. Number 3 is build your care team. Okay, building your care team includes finding the core therapies that are going to help your child the most and building your team of experts. This is typically ABA therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and or mental health therapy. So after that, then step 4, once you're on step 4, then it can be learning and advocating and doing things like that. But we don't need to worry about too many things like the supplements and the special tests and all of that. Just have a good doctor in your corner. If you're seeing concerns with your kid, have them looked at. There's no magic pill. There's no special diet. There's just the therapies that support. Okay, we have another comment over here on YouTube. After learning about autism due to suspecting for my boys, I've come to realize I am likely autistic. Recently found out at a young age I was diagnosed with SPD. I also have diagnosed anxiety. Okay, we're seeing this so much. Why is this happening, you guys? Do we have an epidemic of autism? All of these things are connected to the same question. First of all, do we have an epidemic of autism? No. There is no indication, there is no evidence that actual rates of autism are increasing. We do know that diagnoses of autism are increasing, but we also know that the autism diagnosis as it exists today started in 2013. Before that, only people with profound autism were diagnosed with that diagnosis. And so absolutely we're seeing an increase because in 2013 they expanded it. Now we have people checking, we have doctors who are screening for autism at 18 months and 24 months is the standard screening for autism. And so, yeah, if you're a parent and you think, hey, you know what? I'm looking back at videos of myself as a kid. I wasn't talking very good. I was delayed. I'm walking on my tiptoes, flapping my hands. Like maybe I should go and get a diagnosis. That's becoming so common, and that is even more evidence. The more that you see that, it's clear that it's not just kids that are getting autism more frequently. This has always been around. We're detecting it. We're diagnosing it more. Good question, twin boys. Good question. Okay, let's bring up our next guest here. All right. Let's bring up Marley. We got a lot of people in the guest box. We can get through some people. Marley, where are you calling in from? Hi, Marley. Where are you from? All right, Marley. If you want to come back in, you can. I went ahead and dropped you. Okay, Isla. Hello. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Maldives.
From where?
From Maldives.
Where is that? What is
I
it?
have
Sorry,
a
I couldn't
question.
hear you very good. You got some background noise there.
It's Maldives, Maldives, Maldives. In
Oh,
Indian Ocean,
Maldives.
Maldives.
Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
What question do you have for us today?
What could be like autistic child's developmental delays and
When you swipe out of the app, it mutes you. Just so you know, we can't hear you when you swipe out.
okay, sorry. Uh, well, what could be their developmental delays and what are the barriers for such children accessing services like medical services in community? What could be the barriers?
Yeah, yeah. Good,
That's my question.
good question. Good question. So, there's a lot of barriers to receiving services for people with developmental delays. The first is pinpointing what is the diagnosis. So, autism can be there. There are developmental delays with autism. There's also other conditions that cause developmental disabilities. So, developmental disabilities first, we need a diagnosis. Then the second, access to the services. I mean, there are so many barriers to being able to get services. Every country is different. I have no idea where you're at, what services look like. I do know United States really well and access to services there. And so really some of the biggest barriers you're going to see are local to your own location. Do you have a child that might have developmental delays or autism?
I don't have, but as being a teacher, I used to face such type of children.
Got it. Got it. Well, thank you for being a teacher. Thank you for the question. I
So I
appreciate
was
you coming
like,
up.
okay, okay. Uh, actually, in Maldives, we have uh, we have different level of health facilities. As our country is located into different islands, and the area, let's say it's in region. So the capital of the city is in Male is the capital city, so where the important hospitals, most important facilities are available in only Male.
Yeah,
uh,
you're gonna have limitations. I mean, there's not gonna be clinics
yeah
everywhere, and
so
you
yeah
really need to advocate
so
for increased levels. Like I don't know your location well enough to really speak on access of
right.
care. I wish I did.
So
I really wish I had more info for you. You guys, if you're in the guest box, just know that like I do support you. If you're an autism parent for sure and you just need love and support, no matter where you live, come on up here. But if you do have a question on specific services and things, my expertise kind of stops outside of the US. I know the United States pretty good. So let's go ahead and get some more people. If you have a question about autism, please come on in. Danielle, hello. Thank you for coming up. How are you? And where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Oh, I got an echo. Let's see. I muted you because there was an echo. Unmute and let's see if that took care of it. Sorry, there was a really bad echo, so I muted you, Danielle. If you unmute, there you go.
Okay.
Oh, there's still. Sorry, Danielle. Request back up, and the echo is just really bad. So, love to have a conversation though. Okay, Danielle, I'll bring you back up. I just saw your request up. Okay, the echo is still there. I'm wondering if you're on speaker or something where it's hearing my voice as well as inputting it back in. I don't know. I'm so sorry, Danielle. The echo is really bad there. Or put it in the chat and I'll try to answer it as well. All right, Bianca. We got Bianca coming up, you guys. Let's see if Bianca will load in here. Bianca, hello. Where are you calling in from? All right. Can you hear us, Bianca?
Can
Hello?
you hear me?
Well, now I can. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Germany.
Wonderful. What question do you have for us today?
Uh, I don't have a question. I just wanted to say hi and to say thank you for all of your videos. I watch them every day and it helps me a lot. It really helps me.
Bianca, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. And you should join our Discord and join our Facebook group. And thank you for being part of this village. I'm so glad that you're here.
I'm also very thankful and I wish that lots of people that are living the way we are living, that have kids with autism, that have autism, would join this community because I think they should have a chance to let the voice be heard.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much, Bianca. You have a great day. I really appreciate the support. It means so much to me. It really does. Okay, let's see. Robin, I think I missed your comment before on YouTube. It's a Jack Percy, a lot of pages, more than 300. He loves reading it. Oh, that's the one that he's reading over and over. Okay, so Robin is saying that he has a student, or she has a student who will only read one book. Here's my thought: is I wouldn't be too worried about it. If they love reading the same book over and over, it's not like they're reading the same sentence over and over. There's enough variation in words and sentences that it's not going to hinder their reading learning if they reread that a few times. But yeah, thank you for the question. All right, you guys. Thank you for being here. Let's see if we can get Danielle back in here. Hey, Danielle.
Hey.
Oh, that's better. There we go.
Yes.
How are you
Okay,
doing?
so
What's
I
your
have
connection to autism?
I have my twins that are autistic. My son though, he has ODD, and he also we're trying to get him tested for um uh ADHD also, but he has lately been to the point to where we can't keep him in his booster seat, and um, the ABA says, and the pediatrician says to talk to occupational about getting a special car seat. Occupational says they've never heard of that. They don't handle that situation.
Oh. This
And
is for getting out of
I'm
the booster
like,
seat in the car?
yes,
Okay, how
because
old is he?
he's 5.
Okay.
And then on top of it, the ABA has they have never had to handle any ODD um, patient, or
Clients.
pe-
Yeah.
clients as bad as him. It's pretty bad, I guess. And I mean, I'm at the point because their father is on the road, truck driver 24/7.
Yeah.
He's rarely home except maybe maybe every 2 weeks for a day or two. I'm at my wit's end.
Yeah.
Um,
Look, there
I
are
don't.
resources for the car. There are resources for the car for sure, and I don't think you need a full new car seat. Uh, they do make like special locks that make it so you can't unbuckle as easily.
We have that,
Oh, do
and
you?
but he climbs out of the seatbelt. Even it doesn't matter how
Oh,
tight you
he's not
make
in a
it.
5-point harness. He's in a booster.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Do you know if his weight capacity maxes him out of the 5-point harness?
He is at he's 40 pounds.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna invite Ange. Ange, if you're free, you can come up. Ange has some thoughts. Ange is a regular on here and has some thoughts too. I trust a lot of
So
what she says.
I am currently driving, but you are through my car. So and I'm almost to where I'm about to park. But
I
there,
have to drop you. I heard that if TikTok, if you say that you're driving, TikTok won't let you. So please request up or let me know when you're not driving, and then I'll bring you up. Just because you said that, I don't want the TikTok gods to ban me again. Banana me, I guess. I don't think I can say the B word. Okay. She was saying something about a safety vest, though. I haven't seen a car safety vest. I should know more about this. I'm excited to learn. Have you heard about a car safety vest? Let's look into this.
No.
Let's look. Oh, yeah. Safe Rider vest. Okay. Look up Safe Rider vest. It is.
Okay.
Let me look up on Amazon. Oh, yeah. Okay. There's some good options there.
Okay.
And then there are some, it's sounding like Kat says there are some special needs car seats that you can get through insurance as well as vests. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Ange. Thank you for sharing that.
And
But
okay.
I'm wondering, you sound overwhelmed. And
Oh,
I,
very,
I don't think
very. I
it's
mean,
just
I don't
riding in
get
the
breaks.
car.
I don't. Mm-mm.
Tell us about it. How are you doing? How are you?
I am mentally and physically health wise and all the above just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Uh,
Tell us about it. How many kids do you have?
3.
Okay. And how
And
is it your twins
huh?
diagnosed with autism?
Yes,
Okay.
and the ADA school saying that the 3-year-old has it too, but I can't get him to their father won't let me go get him tested.
Does his father live in the home with you?
Yes,
Okay. Why won't
that's the
he?
hard.
Why isn't he letting you
He,
go and get him tested?
he says it's Oklahoma's thing. They're trying to. They don't. He doesn't even think the twins have it, and all the. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Um.
I know better because I've worked in the medical field. I've worked with special need kids. I know better, but at the same time, I'm just anyway. I'm
You're
just
doing this
over.
alone.
Yeah, I am. I am, and my 18-year-old's in college, so I'm definitely doing it alone now because she's gone
Yeah. Yeah. Your 18-year-old was helping. Is that what you're saying?
until until she graduated college. I mean high school,
Yeah.
and then I don't have any family here,
Yeah. Um. Is your Is your
Carter,
husband being supportive with all the care that your other kids need?
no, he doesn't think that they need the care.
What does he think is going on with them?
That he thinks that the my son is a typical boy and there's nothing wrong with him, but a typical boy isn't gonna run off, run and go spit in someone's face
No,
for no reason.
no.
And then,
Do you feel like he blames you as the caretaker?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard this. Okay, this is a common experience, but common doesn't make it right. And you need to hear it
Mhm.
from someone that your parenting and your care for your child is not what's caused their autism. Your
Oh,
children have
I
a
know.
your children have a diagnosis. You didn't cause it, and you deserve better. You deserve support. Um, and look, what is his role with the family? What how do you guys distribute the workload that it takes to run a house? Because to me, it sounds like if he's in denial that your kid has autism, it makes me wonder if he spends much time with your kid.
He really does.
Yeah.
I mean, he comes home and might sit with them in the evenings. That's about it.
Is he working all day? What's his work schedule like?
Um, he comes home after being on the road
He's a truck driver, is
as
that
a
right?
truck driver,
Yeah.
and then he'll go and do Walmart deliveries and DoorDash,
Yeah.
and then
So he works
might
hard.
come
It sounds
home.
like he's a really hard worker.
He really is
He
because
goes, he works all day. He goes, he
because
door dashes, he Walmart delivery.
yeah, because I told him once they got their diagnosis, I'm not working. I'm taking care of my kid.
Yeah.
My kids come first.
Yeah.
And he is mad about that.
He wishes you were
And
still working.
oh yeah. He tells me every day that I'm a horrible person for making him work 24/7.
Oh my gosh. He calls you an awful person for making him work 24/7?
Yeah, that I need to get off my butt and go get a job because of them. And I said, no, my kids come first. I have to take care of my kids. He goes, well, you can find a job that fits their schedule. No, I can't.
Yeah, taking care
No,
of. Remind me, you have how do you have two kids with autism or one kid with autism?
two.
Two kids with autism plus a 3-year-old who it's looking like might have autism, right?
Yeah, I really, I'm gonna get tested.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
I look, I need to ask you something, and just know you're anonymous. No one here knows who you are. But
Oh,
I need to ask you: are you safe? Does this
yeah,
end
oh
up getting
yeah.
physical at all when he's mad at you and telling you
No,
you need to get?
oh
Okay,
no,
okay,
oh
good,
no.
okay, good. But sometimes that mental attack
It's, yeah,
hurts just as much.
oh I know. Yeah,
Look, I have so much that I want to say to you. But the first one is that your husband has no idea how much work you are doing with your children. for him, first of all, to say that that you need to be doing more, and then secondly, denying your child access to the supports that they need, that it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't compute, especially because if you get that 3-year-old diagnosed and they can get into ABA therapy, you could have all 3 of your kids going to ABA therapy and free up more time for you.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
there's this thing that some men do where they are proud. They don't want to, they have this pride, and I have been there. They have this pride. It's not exclusive to men, but I see this all the time that it's the mom spending all day with the kids. They know their kids have autism, but the man fails to acknowledge that their child has a disability. That they want to feel like their child is totally normal. They don't want any acceptance of the reality of the situation. And I want to say that it just takes time, but it sounds like to me, like when were your kids diagnosed? When were your twins,
Uh,
or your 2 kids?
Last year about this time, I've been
Yeah,
trying to get them diagnosed since they were 6 months, but the pediatrician uh, wouldn't agree with me that anything was wrong.
yeah, yeah. Um,
And they thought I was crazy. And
yeah.
I'm like, no, I've been around too many, too many.
Look, your husband's not around to see the kids and how they are.
Oh,
He
yeah.
he he doesn't know. He doesn't know that they have autism, and
Hmm.
he is wrong for assuming that they don't, and for putting any blame on you for the way that they are being raised. You need to know you are an amazing parent. You are a good mother. You are meeting your children's needs, and you are burning out. And there is not more for you to give. And I want to relieve any pressure that you may have at this point to do more for your children. You're doing it. You're already there. And we need to, like, this concern is like there's a higher risk of divorce in parents of children with autism because it exposes a lot about a person. And these are things that
Yeah.
you guys really need to work out. When I talk about having a village, your husband needs to be part of that village. And my biggest recommendation to you right now is you and your husband need to get into therapy together.
I've tried. He won't.
Okay. Are
I
you in
have tried.
therapy?
Oh, yes.
Good. Okay.
Yes. As soon as I found out, I put myself in therapy because I knew I needed it.
And have you talked to your therapist about all this stuff with your husband and wanting your
Yes.
husband to go to therapy with you? And
Yes.
good, 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 good. Look, I mean, that's marriage takes work. Marriage takes work, and if he if the only thing he is offering you right now, and this is some random guy talking to you on the internet, but if right now the only thing your husband is offering you is a paycheck, and he's not offering any parent support or any other meaningful support to you or the children, that financial support still comes after a divorce. I'm not telling you what to do. Okay. I want you to work it out with him. And I think it's always in the better interest for families and children to work things out. But, but there needs to be some boundaries that you lay out for your husband. You are an equal partner in this family with your husband. Do you feel that you are an equal partner in making decisions? He doesn't get to tell you you don't get to go get your son diagnosed.
Yes.
Okay. You're an equal parent. So you need to let him know he doesn't get to make the decision that you don't get to go pursue a diagnosis. He needs to be aware that you have marital problems right now, and that we are having a really hard time because of our children with autism. And I therapy is the way through this. And if he doesn't want to participate with that, you let him know that you are scheduling it anyways and that you expect him to be there.
Okay.
You cannot do this alone because you're taking care of your husband and your children. And honestly, if your husband wasn't there, it sounds like it would almost be a relief for you. You'd have the freedom. If you had the money but not the husband, you'd be relieved right now because you could go get the diagnosis and go get the care for your kids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's not the way a relationship should be. You guys need to be a partner.
No. Yep.
Um, hopefully, I'm not too harsh. I'm curious
No.
if let's see. Yeah, usually I have. Looks like Amy's not here, but
Amy's probably not here because she's been sick for the past couple days.
yeah,
So
that's okay. Lexi, what are your thoughts on this? Lexi's a good friend of me, a friend of mine, Danielle, that she comes up quite often on here. But Lexi, you've been listening in. What are your thoughts here for Danielle? Do you have any thoughts?
yes, Danielle, I feel for you so much because of what you're going through. I am also an autism parent. I have a child who is on the spectrum. I understand what you go through on your day-by-day life. But with that being said, if your husband is not going to be an active participant in your children's life, you really need to sit down and maybe talk to your therapist about this and decide what's best for your children. Because at the end of the day, if you do not get that diagnosis, your children will not be able to get the help that they need. And
Yeah.
if his problem is you getting a job, then you need the diagnosis so that they can get the care that they need. And then you can go out and maybe find yourself a part-time job or find yourself a job that works around the ABA schedule, or find yourself a job that will be a little bit flexible with you being able to take time off for your children when you need it and be able to accommodate your needs for your children. If your state offers it, I don't know if they do, but in my state, they offer a care paid provider, parent as paid providers, what it's called in my state. Not all states have it, but you might want to look into it. If your state has a paid parent as paid providers program, you can get paid. And then again, this is up to the state and how many hours they approve you per child and et cetera, et cetera. You can get paid to take care of your children, to fill their needs. You have to work on goals, at least in my state, with your child for independence, but it gives you that financial freedom if
Uh-huh.
if you want to put it that way. It gives you that financial freedom for you to be able to relax a little bit in the sense of being able to not have to go out and find a job, work with your children, achieve their goals, help them become more independent, and it also gives you independence. And if you decide that divorce is the way you want to go, which is not something we're promoting, we're just letting you know that if that is your decision, financially, it will give you a break for you to be able to financially support your children and him, and he will still be responsible for child support because they are his children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to take a really deep look inside of yourself and have a really deep conversation and let him know. Kylan has some cards, right? On
Yeah.
your, yeah,
Yeah.
he has some cards that are like kind of like what you would equivalent to chore cards. Yeah, there you go. Fair play. If you look up those cards on Amazon, or if you look on his link in his bio, you can put on the table for him to be able to physically see everything that you do in one day and say, these are my responsibilities. This is why I'm overwhelmed. This is what you don't understand. What are you going to take off my plate? What are you going to help me with? How can we make this marriage work? If he doesn't go to therapy, if he doesn't listen to you, if he doesn't help you, if he doesn't want to do any of these things to help the household and his children and his family that he created with you, then that divorce option might be something that you need to lay on the table
Hmm.
because it's not fair. I unfortunately don't have a partner. I'm a single mom, so I completely understand all of what you're going through as far as mental load and overstimulation and crying because believe me, I've cried on this live a handful of times and I understand. Um, but it's not all on you when you have a partner. And he needs to learn and understand that. And unfortunately, you may also need to be a little bit more strict as and firm in your deliverance of this, because at this time he needs to listen to your words. I use that a lot with my child, so sorry, that's my autism mom coming out. But he does need to listen to your words.
What do you think, Danielle? What do you think about all this?
Yeah. Um, really need to look at the whole picture and see where,
Yeah.
just look at the whole picture and decide everything. The caregiver thing for sure, I want to look into and
For the parent as a paid caregiver, your
uh,
child has to be diagnosed. So
well,
that's the
yeah,
only thing. Your child or your children in this case have to have a diagnosis. You have to go through the State Department. It is like based on finances. So if you guys are if only he's working and you guys are barely making bills, you'll probably make it depending on your state. But it is a great program if your state offers it. I'm not sure what state you're in or if they offer it.
So in
yeah,
Oklahoma, I'm seeing that they have a family support assistance program of $250 to $400 a month for income eligible families if they have a child with disabilities such as autism. Something to look for. And I mean, it's small, but it's a little bit extra that supports and is in
yeah,
there. But there's a bigger problem here, Danielle, is that right now what it sounds like is your husband is expecting you to be primary caregiver, run the home, take care of all your kids, blame you
yeah.
for them
No,
having autism, and then mad at you that you're not also making money. And
no, and that's why. I mean, that's the second thing. Him and I have got to sit down and talk.
you got to talk
And
and you got to say,
yeah,
hey, look, if you're in this relationship, we got to make this work. Here are some boundaries. We need to do some therapy together because I love you and because I want to make this work, and I need you to be
yep,
willing to do that with me. And then second, I can't have you saying that we can't diagnose our kid. I need the support. I didn't cause this in our kids. Our kids need support, and you're not around them enough to know what support they need.
yep.
They're not just kids. They need support, and having that kind of conversation. I mean, how do you feel having that conversation? How do you expect that's going to go?
Uh, Probably not too good because he doesn't like being told something that way, but at the same time, I really don't care
Yeah,
because we've got to get on the same page. And this is the only way we're going to be on the same page. And we've got, I mean, we're going to have to work this situation out.
yeah, yeah. You'll get through this, but you need a village, and let us be your village. Join us on our Facebook group, please. Our Discord chat, if you have Discord, link is in my bio. Please keep us posted how this conversation goes, and please stay safe. If you don't feel safe at any moment in that conversation, please make sure to call local authorities to be involved. I know that's not a worry of yours, but something that anytime you do have concerns about bringing things up, it comes to my mind. So Danielle, let me know if anything else you have on your mind that you want to talk about, Danielle.
No,
Okay.
no, I think that's it. No, I think that's it.
You are valid in feeling that life is unfair to you right now because it is. No one should have to have 3 kids with autism without the support of a spouse and feel like they are to blame, and also feel a pressure of having to earn money somehow while you're carrying the entire house and taking care of the children and being blamed for their autism. That is more than any one person should have to feel. Your burnout is valid. And this is a season of your life. It's a season of time. And, getting your village together with your husband is key here. So thank you for coming up and for being open about sharing your thoughts and your story with us.
Thank you.
All right.
And Danielle, use our resources for the support groups. We're very helpful on there, especially because these lives are only 2 hours. The support groups are 24/7. So definitely log on to them through Kylan's bio. Um, and you can
Okay.
always private message any of us on there, or you can just message in the overall chat. It's a really great space, to be honest with you. It's just a continuation of this life.
Okay. Thank you guys so much.
Okay. Thank you, Danielle. You have a good one. All right, you guys, we are coming close to the end of this, but let me give a little bit of an intro. If you're new here, if you're just coming in, make sure that it says follow right there. That ensures that you can see next time that we go live. We go live every day to support people with autism, support parents of kids with autism, to be supported ourselves. I need a village. Lexi, any updates or thoughts for us before we end the live today?
Um, not, not really any updates. I did go to the school in ABA yesterday. For those of you that don't know, I had a situation where my son came home with a bruise on his arm, unexplained. He'd been to school, he'd been to ABA, nobody could tell me. I had to file a police report. I was very emotional for 3 days. I'm starting to kind of just understand and get over it. But I did speak to the school yesterday. I had my appointment with the ABA. My every 2 weeks we do an appointment with the BCBA. And we go over his goals, and she did an investigation. She contacted all like the members that worked with him that day. Nobody had anything to report. So that day, she actually, the day after I had filed the report and everything like that, she said she spent a majority of his 4 hours that he's in ABA with. She watched him, she watched his body language, she watched him change in between different caregivers. They did like a full internal investigation to see if he would react differently towards somebody, or if there was any concerns like with him being with a specific provider or anything like that. And she didn't see any change in him. So out of all of this, the only thing that basically came out of it is like you said, Kylan. Now their eyes are always on my
Oh
child.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Nothing's gonna happen to your kid, and you did the right thing. And I'm sure now you're feeling like your kid's safe there. And yeah, I well done, Lexi. It's a tough situation, and I mean, you were just barely started at the school, and you're kind of putting that risk out there of kind of compromising those relationships. But if you have a good care team, I mean, they're gonna see this as like this parent cares, not a like, oh, this parent's trying to attack us kind of thing.
Yeah, and the thing that made me feel really safe was that the school and ABA didn't hold like any animosity towards me or
Yeah.
towards my child, and they're still openly communicating with me. So it does, like you said, it does make me feel more safe to be able to take him to both places. He hasn't had any bad reactions with either the school nor the ABA. So I feel more safe, and yeah, my child is definitely getting looked at a little bit harder, but that's okay. I'm okay with that because I know that it's going to be for his safety. And now everybody knows not to mess with my child
Yeah.
because I will
Yeah.
go down fighting.
You establish yourself as someone that's kind, compassionate, reasonable, but also not messes around with the safety of her kid. And that's exactly what you want to do. You struck that balance perfectly. All right, you guys, I got to hop off. Thank you all for being here. Maybe you'll see me later tonight. We'll see how we're doing tonight. In my evening lives, I take a different approach. This is very supportive here during the day. And I'm also supportive at night, but I invite people who disagree with some of my more controversial stances. Things like vaccines don't cause autism, or special diets don't help kids with autism usually, or detox protocols should be avoided. Things like that. Yeah, so sometimes you see a different side of me come out at night. I for sure hit my morning lives at usually noon Eastern time, but some nights you see me as well. So Destiny, you woke up at midnight and I was on. Oh no. Oh no. It wasn't midnight where I was. I think the latest I've been on is like 11. So yeah. If you wanna see, go ahead and hit me a follow. And sometimes if I do go live at night, it's probably 8:30 my time that I go on, which is about 10:30 p.m. Eastern time is when you might see me. That's after my kids go down. If I have an hour to give or something, I do. But all right, you guys. Thank you all, and we will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.